Ladies and gentlemen, this is Metagetics, and welcome back to Review and Recap for Dragon Ball Super Episode 101. This week we pick up with the aftermath of Kale's Berserk Rage. Now, one more thing to keep in mind is, if you remember back a few episodes, when the Gods of Destruction that were exempt from elimination, they had that duel match, and they tested how strong the ring was. Now, I just thought about this, but they repaired the ring, but Kale's Berserk Rage actually demolished a lot of the ring. I mean, there's pillars and there's rock everywhere, there's holes and craters. So her power has just been bumped up to a whole nother level, if you ask me. A lot of people say that Goku was holding back when he did his Kamehameha wave as SS Blue, and I do believe that. I do believe that wholeheartedly, but you do also have to keep in mind that he was holding back, but not as much as we may think. He was definitely putting some power into that, but just the fact that she destroyed a good chunk of the ring lets us know that her power is definitely nothing to be scoffed at. But I digress. Jiren, of course, knocked her out, and she's back. She's back on her feet after Caulifla, rescued her basically. And I'll go and do the same thing I did last time. The last couple of videos is I'll go and kind of separate the action on these episodes. That way, we kind of focus on each one. The first focus is going to be on Master Roshi. He's by himself, and he's facing off with this warrior. I believe it's from Universe 3 or 4, the universe that has all the mechanical men. So he's by himself, and he does his lightning flash attack. I forgot what it's called. I don't remember the name of it. I'm not too familiar with the Japanese translation of it, but it's the same attack he used in Dragon Ball, where he paralyzes his opponent, and it's a great move, but it also has a restriction. He freezes whoever he hits with it, but he's also frozen in place as well. But Tien jumped in, did a tri-beam attack, basically, or they call it a new key cannon. But either way, he hit this guy, knocked him out of the ring, so there's another elimination for our Universe 7 team. Excuse me while I try and untangle my words. So that's kind of all the focus there. Gohan runs up, he makes sure they're okay, and he states that he's wondering where everybody else is, and Roshi confirms that they all got separated during Kale's Berserk Rage and her whole rampage. So they find Piccolo. He's kind of being cool, like old. He's got his arms crossed, trying to be himself, and they confirm that androids 17 and 18, they're off somewhere. And then Frieza walks up. He's carrying one of the warriors from another universe, and Vegeta comes up behind him, complaining that that's his kill. Frieza knocks him out of the ring, and of course Vegeta's pissed off about that. And that's all we see of Vegeta, Frieza, and the crew there. The rest of the episode is going to focus on androids 17, 18, Goku, Caulifla, Kale, and the 5 Pride Troopers that don't really matter. Not that they're weak, because they actually put up a decent fight in their own regards. Each one had their own kind of special powers and abilities. They face off with Kale, Caulifla, Goku, and they basically state that they should work together because the 5 Pride Troopers, they're going to focus on them. So Goku tells them to stay back. They say no, of course. And then they kind of start fighting. So Casserole's fighting with Android 17 and 18. He has these projection weapons, almost like Vegito's Energy Blade, but he can do it on both hands. He can use his ki in that aspect. Vermouth, the God of Destruction for Universe 11 and the Pride Troopers, he states that Casserole, he's conquered many planets, manipulating his ki and using weapons like that, and he's pretty good at what he does. So that's fine and dandy. Casserole's pretty cool. He's not bad, but he kind of got overshadowed by androids 17 and 18. He faced off with them. They knocked 18 back, and 17's facing off with Casserole. And they had this big key clash, explosion, and then android 17 once again reveals his green barrier. It can stop quite a bit of power because it stopped Casserole's attack, and he basically told Casserole his attack was stupid. Switching over to Goku, he of course gets caught off guard like he always does, and one of the warriors' I think his name's Tupper, he gets behind Goku, does another bear hug, reverse bear hug. Goku needs to work on stopping people from hugging him like this from the back, because apparently it's Goku's kryptonite. This guy grabs Goku, and he explains that he can control his body density and make himself light or heavy. almost like Vision from Marvel Comics, how he can control his body density. Well, this guy can do the same thing and also change his weight. So he grabs Goku and then he starts packing on the weight. He starts getting denser and heavier and heavier. And the ring starts cracking underneath Goku's weight and Goku's pinned down. At the same time, this little tiny, little horned guy, he's another Pride Trooper, he does a combo attack with Tupper, and he does a whirlwind almost like the Tasmanian Devil. And he's hitting Goku from the front, and Goku's frozen. He can't go anywhere. And he's in trouble once again by a rear hold. And then Android 18 comes and saves him. She starts blasting this guy from the back, the Tupper guy that's changed his body weight. And she knocks him off Goku. She tells Goku, "You need to be careful because, you know, these guys are no joke. They're serious." So Goku and 18, they kind of face off with these two. They go back and forth. Not a whole lot happens there. And then the rest of this episode's main focus is on Caulifla and Kale. So the three other fighters, it's going to be Caulifla. Kale is fighting Casserole, the leader of the Pride Troopers, or one of them, with the mechanical eye, almost like the Guile stand-in. Facing him, this green reptile-looking guy, and he's really good at dodging because Caulifla could not hit him, and he's dodging left and right, and then he kind of ambushes her with all these key balls and starts hitting her. So she's caught off guard, and then there's this other Pride Trooper. Her name is, I think it's Coquette, and she can create dimensional barriers. Now, it's not just a barrier like Android 17's. It's a dimensional barrier. So whoever's inside the barrier is technically in a different dimension. We kind of find this out because she puts up a dome so Caulifla and Kale can't get out, and she also traps Kale inside one. One reason why we confirm it's a different dimension, it also confirms that Goku cannot transport to another dimension because he could not sense the key inside, therefore he couldn't go in there and help them. So Kale's stuck inside one of the small dimension barriers that Coquette made, and Caulifla is getting rocked. She's getting hit left and right, she's getting taken down, and we have almost like an endearing moment between Kale and Caulifla where Caulifla's like, "Don't worry, I'll protect you, you are my protege." And I don't know if Dragon Ball Super is hinting towards some kind of relationship between these two, which if they are, that's fine. But they need to clarify, at least let us know what's going on, because Caulifla is all over the place. She might play both sides of the fence, because she's got this hard-on for Goku and his power, and then she has a softer side for Kale. It could be maybe a one-way relationship where Kale sees her one way and Caulifla just sees her as her like little protege sister. But that's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect me in the show at all. It's just an observation. But going forward, Caulifla is getting rocked by this guy. I mean, she's getting taken out, and Casserole even states he doesn't usually use these kind of tactics. He almost feels bad doing it, but he needs to take care of what he needs to take care of because their universe is at stake. So Caulifla, she's about to go down because she's getting rocked left and right, like I said. And Kale's, I guess she focuses her power, and she finds a whole new threshold for her strength. She gets angry, she gets pissed off, and instead of feeling like a failure, I guess she has this almost kind of love or affection. So she's channeling her power through maybe affection and the need to defend or protect, which is the regular way that Saiyans attain their power. For example, Goku, he attained Super Saiyan back on the Frieza saga on Namek through the need for the power. And his need was to protect and to vanquish evil. It's almost similar to Kale's transformation, where she needed that power to try and save Caulifla. So she starts raging, but not like a Broly rage. She rages out and she blasts a hole through this dimensional barrier, cracks it, shatters it just in time to save Caulifla. And Kale's basically, she's gone Super Saiyan. Dare I say maybe Super Saiyan 2, because she has full control of her body. She's not beefed up like Broly. And she's fully aware of what she's doing. Before, in the beginning of the episode, we also addressed that when she was in that full berserk mode from the last episode, episode 100, she did not remember anything from it. This time, she is fully conscious of what's going on and what's happening and why she has transformed. So, she saves Caulifla, They both power up to Super Saiyan, and they start this big key clash between the other Pride Troopers. They do something called, I think it's like a Trooper Cannon or Pride Cannon, and they all attack together. Kale and Khalifa, they attack together, and it's an old school classic Dragon Ball Z key battle, or a key clash. Starts going back and forth, and then Castle says, all right guys, maximum power. So they dump all their energy into this attack. It's going towards Kale and Khalifa, and then all of a sudden Khalifa's like, let's stick with me, go with me to the end on this. And I'm proud of you, this and that, like a little pep talk. And Kale accesses her Berserk mode, or her Berserk power, except she doesn't rage out, if that makes sense. Her pupils go away, she goes all wide-eyed, and she bulks up and looks just like, the Broly form. Except she's fully aware of what she's doing. So I guess she's learned how to channel her power in a way that maybe Broly couldn't. Because let's be honest, this is basically a Broly proxy. So she's going full Broly mode, but she's fully aware of what she's doing. She's not raging out in that sense. And they fight back in a key clash. Khalifa and Kale's ki blast combine together like a red and green swirl. And they hit the Pride Troopers and eliminate all three. So they get knocked off. And also earlier, the solid guy, was it Tupper? He got eliminated as well. So 4 Pride Troopers got eliminated in a span of no time. All that's left is the Dimension Barrier, Coquette. When they started losing the key clash, she dropped her attack and put herself in a bubble to protect her, which it did. And the dust kind of settles, and Khalifa and Kale walk towards Goku, 17 and 18, and like, we just eliminated some Pride Troopers, you should thank us. And Goku's like, is she okay like that? Because he sees Kale behind Khalifa, still in that Broly mode, but she's not raging. He goes, is she cool? And Khalifa's like, yeah, don't worry about her. She knows what she's doing. She's got control now. And then that's when Kale regresses back to her normal state, and she goes unconscious again. So she can access this semi-hybrid Broly-esque form, be in full control now, but it drains her stamina like crazy. It's similar almost to Super Saiyan 3, I guess. It puts a great strain on the body if you've not mastered the form. So that's her trump card that she's used twice now, and she's getting more and more control. So you can kind of see as these characters are developing and getting more powerful as they learn their abilities, which is neat because it makes a little more sense because they got so much power in such a short amount of time before the tournament. They're really learning their powers now once the tournament has started. So that's fine. That's cool. I got no issue with that. What else we got left in the episode? Goku, he notices that Coquette, she's still there in her bubble, and she's laughing like, oh, you guys can't hurt me. I'm in my bubble. While I'm in my bubble, I'm impervious. And then Android 18's like, well, let's just throw the whole damn thing out then. So she picks up Coquette inside the Dimension Barrier and throws her out of the ring. So just like that, 5 Pride Troopers were eliminated in this episode. And Vermouth is like, we lost 5 guys? And then their Kai is like, well, now may not be the best time for us to conserve our strength. Because also earlier in the episode, once the dust settled from Kale raging out from episode 100, Goku faced off with Jiren, and he's like, I want to fight you. And Toppo comes in, he kind of does a back attack on Goku, knocks him halfway across the stage, and him and Toppo and Jiren are basically saying, let's go and jump back, let the other Pride Troopers take care of these guys and conserve our stamina. So they bumped out, they retreated, and that's where we are now. That's where we got to where we are now. The whole fight with Kale, Khalifa, the Dome, Goku, and the Tupper guy. So it was a pretty decent fight. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. A lot of cool moves and abilities went down. All in all, we got a new form, I guess, from Kale. I guess it's like a controlled Broly-esque form. I don't know what they're going to call it. Maybe Super Saiyan Ultra, because that's what Khalifa said is it was an Ultra Super Saiyan or a cool Super Ultra Saiyan. It's neither here nor there. It doesn't really matter. But it was neat. I like that Kale has more control of her power. It makes a little bit of sense. At least they gave us that little scene between her and Khalifa, that kind of endearing moment. So I believe that's what happened. That's why she can access and control her power this time. And so Kale passes out. Khalifa picks her up, and she looks at Goku. He's like, "Are you okay letting us go?" And he's like, "Yeah, you guys are getting stronger, and I want to fight you at your strongest. And later on, that'll be our fight." And of course, Khalifa's like, "All right, you'll regret it, but okay." So she goes off, and then 18's like, "Should we really let him go?" And 17 backs up Goku, actually saying, "Yeah, let's let him go. It's cool. We'll take care of him later." And that is basically the end of the episode. We end on it's the announcer says, not the announcer, but the narrator for the show. He basically says that there's a mysterious figure watching the fighters, and of course that's going to be Ribrianne. We'll see more of her next episode. Basically, the yin and yang to the Pride Troopers, the almost like a Sailor Moon ripoffs, and Ribrianne the Chateau, I think is her name, where she has that cute little girl with the blonde hair. She transforms into the heavy, chubby, almost like Teletubby-looking superhero, the one that we see Vegeta fighting in the intro. That's who she turns into, and that's what next episode is actually focused on. So next episode is going to be Ribrianne and her other cohorts. They're going to fight, I believe it's Goku, 17, and Vegeta. So that should be the focus of next episode. Once again, no rest for Goku. He's getting worn down pretty good, but we'll see. And hopefully we get some more action from our side crew of Piccolo, Gohan, Tien, and Roshi. Every episode we have like a scene or two here and there, but it's coming down basically to where Goku's gonna wear everybody out, get himself worn out, might get eliminated, and Gohan and crew will step in, and Gohan might be the saving grace of the tournament. So we'll see what happens there. Next episode looks pretty good. Animation was pretty solid this episode. I enjoyed it. I have no real complaints. It went on at a decent pace, and yeah, it was a good episode. 101 was a solid entry. So I want to thank you guys for joining me on this review and recap for Dragon Ball Super episode 101. If you liked the episode, hey, drop a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below on what you liked and what you didn't like. What's your take on this whole Kale transformation, her controlling it? You think I got it right? Do you have a different opinion? Let me know down below. And of course, hit that subscribe button. Join me every week for reviews. We also have some Let's Plays and everything like that, or everything else like that. So that's going to be it for the shameless plugs. Of course, don't forget I'm over on Twitter as well at Metagetics. And I hope to hear from you guys later. Either way, I'll catch you down the road, and I'll hope you have a great night. Later.